पापों का सतनाम, करता पुरख निर्भय, निर्वैर अकाल मूरत, अजूनी सैभम गुर प्रसाद।
सत श्री अकाल जी। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह।
We are back. I, Bindya Bedi, Professor Charanjit Singh Shah. We are back with our episode based on the book Spiritual Transformation in Travel with Guru Nanak, written by Professor Charanjit Shah. And today's episode is very special because we are going to travel with Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Now, in this book I read about his various travels. Wasn't he one of the most travelled people of his times?
You know, I would say that he is the only one, as a saint and sages, who has travelled practically 40,000 kilometers, and perhaps 550 years back on foot is something fantastic, unimaginable. It's like magic of Guru Nanak, I take it like that.
I can imagine, because in those days the situations were so tough to travel to all these countries. I mean, it's impossible to think about what difficulties he must have faced. So I just want to start by reading from your book, sir, that why did he undertake these long journeys which continued for years? I think 20 years of his life?
Yes, absolutely. I'll tell the instances of Guru Nanak. Perhaps he went from north, east, south, west. He went to China, he went to Tibet, he went to many more other countries. He went to all the centers of the religion, and it is like he wanted to change the mindset of people.
Yeah, that's what I read here, that I'm reading from chapter 6. Moved by the plight and suffering of the people of the world, to awaken them from the dreams offered by religious people, to reveal the true secrets of salvation and ultimate happiness, to spread the message of oneness, and to lighten up the path of masses who were confused by the priests, by the pandits, by the qazis, by the mullahs and the various gurus. Guru Nanak Dev Ji decided to set out on a sacred mission in all the 4 directions, visiting centers of Hindus, Muslims, Buddhists, Jains. Now this, leads me to ask you, sir, that he went to the centers of Hindu pilgrimages. Which are the centers he visited? So could you explain this?
It's really very difficult to practically to understand my Nanak, how he really managed all this put together. His mission, his philosophy was like connect with people, purpose and the place. Place is defined as, you can say, Varanasi. Place can be defined as Makkah. Place can be defined as a pilgrimage of Jain and the people of that faith. And his purpose was to practically have dialogue and samvad. And his tools were, one was, I would say, Mardana, his companion, though he was a Muslim, and the music, the rabab. And then Guru Nanak says, Mardana rabab bajao bani aayi hai. This is what he used to say, the real verses of the Almighty Lord, and then they sang. His singing was so beautiful that it became a message to the people, and it started practically touching their heart, and there was a change of mindset, and that probably happened everywhere. That's why what happens when you read Gurbani or his verses, it is said, "Koi jane a geet hai." ये तो Brahm Vichar. It is not a poetry. It is the Gyan, Vichar, the thought, the understanding of the Brahm, the Supreme, the cosmic energy. That's why whenever you see Guru Nanak's any verses, it touch your heart, and because they are so universal and they are with the cosmic energy and the nature. So that is what Guru Nanak is. So now when he traveled, and he traveled to various places that I think we will discuss today. First, that he went to Hindu centers like Varanasi, to Haridwar, to Kash, to Mathura, to Jagannath Puri, and other all the places, maybe even the yogi centers, the rishi centers, and he went there and he started telling them about, not directly, but making them understand that why, in the predominantly why these myths are there. So I'll just narrate that Guru Nanak wanted that let's not be in touch or religiously connected by a place, that this is a holy place.
Yeah.
Or you say that, okay, not about the place, but about other ritualities, about the direction. So these were things, where we were practically focused, and we were actually doing all those ritualities because of the predominant strongness of the priestly class, which we call Brahminhood or priesthood. And then in the verses of Guru Nanak, it doesn't make a difference. I go to a place like, Sangam, Allahabad, Varanasi, and have dip in Ganges or any other holy place. That is what Guru Nanak says in Gurbani. छोड़ छोड़ के पाखंडी मन कपट न कीजे, हर का नाम नित त्याये तीजे, गंगा जाओ गोदावर जाओ जाइए। नो, गंगा भी जाओ, गोदावरी भी जाओ अगर जाइए, कुंभ जाओ, केदार नहाइए। नो, दिस इज हाउ गुरु नानक कंटेम्पलेट्स that you go to Ganges, you go to Godavari river, you go to Kumbh Mela, and lakhs and crores of people go there. You go to Kedar. Then this is one aspect, that holy dip is only useful. It can be an inspiration, but it will be useful if that holy dip can make your inner self also holy. So
Yes.
that is what he wanted to make them, that do not be in rituality. The other aspect which he was very strong is giving some sort of a charity or donation. Now what happens, today also if you go, the Pandit will say, or the priestly class will say, okay, donate so many cows, you will go to heaven. So that is next sentence in the Shabad. Asdan Gajdan Sehsa Nari Bhoom. Now, दान ऐसे दान नित मिलिए कीजे. Now this is, now he says asdan means cow. Now I can give tens of cows and I think that I am getting some sort of a purification or salvation. I give elephants, I give horses. These were the practically in the society as myth of the priestly class. And you can say this, that someone may go to Ganges, Godavari or Kumbh festivals, bathe in the Kedarnath, or make donations of thousands of cows at Gumti. Someone may give horses, elephants, or even the women were given to the priestly class on their beds.
My God.
That is what was happening by the priestly class and or the land. You know, these were certain things, and maybe you can give anything of that nature, it will not be of any avail unless and until it touches your so-called as Dasam Dwar, that is your soul, and unless and until I connect myself with the soul, then only these pilgrimages, these holy places or dip in the Ganges would be useful to me. Otherwise, it is nothing but as a rituality and a myth and a fanaticism. So this is Guru Nanak went and tried to preach everywhere to everybody that let's see what the religion is. Second thing what he said was, Dakhan Desh Hari. Dakhan Desh Hari ka Vasa. Dakshan, south or east. Hari, that is the place of Hindu, the Hari. And next he says, Pashchim Allah Mukama. Now, Pashchim is the west. This is practically being, today also we say, east or south is for the Hindus and west is for the Muslims. But Guru says, Dil mein khoj, dil hai dil khojo. You need to see, introspect in your own soul, mind and heart. Ei thor mukama. This is what is required. The God of Hindus lives in southern land or in a eastern land, and Muslim lives in the west. So search in your heart, look deep into your heart of hearts, and which the home and place of where the God lives. God lives within. Now he is in the east, he is in the west, he is in the north, he is the cosmic energy, he is a universal power which lives everywhere. That is what Guru Nanak preached. Please do not stick to any direction. So this is what Guru Nanak wanted to make people, the Hindus, to understand. The other thing I will also touch upon today is like yoga. No, we discuss about rishis. Yoga is another, practically it is understood by the so-called as the Hindu religion that you do yoga kundali, you do other things put together, you can practically take your breath out, and you can be without breath and also live. These were certain things which today also perhaps is in the society. But Guru Nanak says, Yog na bhagvi kapdi. Yog cannot be attained with bhagwa kapadas. First I wear that, now I become yogi, I will pick these cup. Yog na mele ves. The other is again that I put dirty clothes. Then Nanak ghar baithya yog paiye. This is philosophy. Guru Nanak is only like a family man. You need to see that Nanak ghar baithya yog paiye Satgur ke Upadesh. Listen to the Almighty's Upadesh, His guidance, His aspiration, His inspiration, His philosophy. His philosophy is oneness, that He is within His Creator. That is Ikyonka. That is Guru Nanak said, that He is here in His own creation. Love the creation. Don't be segmented. So this is what I understood from whatever little we go through the various verses of Guru Nanak and Guru Granth Sahib. And these are not only Guru Nanak's philosophy, but all the Bhagats, Sufis of that time who contested with the rituality or the so-called the Brahminhood predominant in society, which actually bisected the society into the caste and creed as well. So this is what I take, that Guru Nanak went to all these Hindu places and gave enlightening people that religion cannot be segmented into any direction or any of other ritualities of bathing or any other thing of that nature. He is within. So that is what probably is what.
So it is like he was trying to unite the people and to get them to rise above these small petty differences. created by caste, by status, and so many things, because all these sacrifices which you spoke about can also be done only by the rich people. So for all purposes, the poor, the Shudras, they were all away from religion. So this was a tremendous effort to visit these pilgrimages and to bring out the unity based on oneness of God.
Yes. Probably Guru Nanak, see, but that's why in Guru Granth Sahib you see Ravidas, Chamar, Kabir, Julaya, a weaver. Similarly, Dhanna, a jat, all, and then Farid, a Sufi Muslim. He wanted to connect all them put together, and probably whatever their virtues are, they are connecting to each other as oneness.
Yes.
So that is what probably it's a love, adoration with the Almighty. Religion is to love people, not to hate. And any religion which respects other religion is a bigger religion. So that is what Guru Nanak taught.
Very well
And
said.
secondly, I would say that Guru Nanak never wanted to create a religion. So
Yes.
he is beyond a religion, and his is the way of life, That is there,
That is the most important.
Yes.
So another very interesting chapter in your book talks about Guru Nanak Dev Ji in Rajasthan. He visited Bikaner, Kolayat, head center of Jains. Now this, I was very fascinated with this, I was thinking what kind of interaction he had with them, what was the purpose, and how can we understand this in today's time?
See, Guru Nanak has never been against any religion. First of all, we have to understand this,
Yes.
Guru Nanak is for all, as religions are to connect with oneness.
Yes.
Any disorder in any of the religion, he definitely wanted to share with each other. So he said that this body, primarily, it's a Bhai Prapat Manuk de Huriya, Gobind Milan ke ho teri bariya. We can only meet the Almighty Lord with this body. If this body fares well, if this body is ill, I cannot recite his name. That's why, we say, Do ser mango dale, moko dono waqt jogale. This is what I need, my livelihood. I need a good living. I need everything. Then only I can recite his name. So that is what Guru Nanak said, that in the family life, let's see that we attain him and we have the salvation. And when he went to Bikaner, when he went to Mount Abu, when he went to other Jain places, I just want to express upon that there are certain things in the religion, maybe it is understood or it is maybe misunderstood, that if you punish your body, if you harass your body, and you will do some sort of a struggle, you will get faster salvation. So that is what in Jain religion, he said, Nyoli karam kare bo asan. This is in Sukhmani Sahib. Jain marg sanjam at sadhan. Nimak kar sharir katave, ਤਾਂ ਵੀ ਹੋਵੇਂ ਮੈਲ ਨਾ ਜਾਵੇ. Now this is what Nanak said. You may practice techniques, inner cleaning processes, yogic postures. You may adopt self-mortifying ways of Jains and great spiritual disciplines. Piece by piece, you may cut your body, but even so, the filth of your ego shall not depart. There is nothing equal to the name of the Lord. Nanak says, chant the name and obtain salvation. So this is how Guru Nanak said that this is the way of salvation. Do not punish your body. Similarly, there is another practice that in Jain religion, they don't shave off. they pluck their hair.
Very
And
painful.
that, see how much is the pain. So that Guru says, एक जैनी उज्जड़ पाए, दुर्वे खुआया, तिन मुख नाई नाम ना तीरथ नाया। हथी सिर खुआए, हाथ दे नाल सिर खुआए। मैं with my hair, with my hand, I am pulling my hair, ना बद कराया, कुंचिल रहे दिन रात, शब्द ना भाया, तिन जात ना पत ना कर्म जन्म गवाया। Now this is what Guru Nanak says. Somewhere Jains, practically, in the wildness, by the preordained destiny, they are ruined and do not have the name of the Lord. And what they do, they pull out their hair with their hands instead of shaving and giving so much torture to the body. They remain unclean day and night. They will not take a bath because if somebody is in this that it will kill certain insects.
Germs, yeah.
They do not love the world of Shabad, and once we are not into these ritualities, we maintain our body and then be in touch with the Almighty Oneness. That is the message which Guru Nanak wanted to share with each other. Perhaps let us see that we are more in the pain to understand the inner feeling than to give pain to our body, and instead let's see that we give pain of understanding to our soul and we get connected with the Almighty God.
So many things, have become clear because even now there are so many practices where there are very strict fasts which are done, and ultimately when one is doing that, one is, it is affecting the body and your mind is not very happy. So how it is difficult to remember God, like you said. So I've really understood that today. And also there are so many other travels he went. So maybe we can conclude our dialogue here and we can go towards Makkah and Bodh Gaya, because Guru Nanak Dev Ji's travels are so vast and it is so interesting to see the kind of interaction he had with different cultures and how beautifully, without creating any conflict, he has conveyed the essence.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think I'll just, we'll conclude with one saying of Guru Nanak, that is, Jo Barmande, Soi Pinde. Jo Barmande, Soi Pinde, Jo Khoje, So Pai. This is what he says, that whatever is there, what you see outside as the Brahman, the universe, and all is within your body. It is only your discovery, only your inventing or rediscovering within, and that is why we say, you discover your Nanak, I rediscover my Nanak, and in the words that is Jo Barmande, Soi Pinde. I think that's the message of today, and we conclude here and we meet on the next
episode.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.